Good morning, students. How are you all? So, today we are here to start our first chapter of economics. I know the word economics is quite new to you, but somehow you have already read about the civics, and economics is taken as a part of civics, and it is much easier than any other part. So what is included in the economics? Mainly in economics, if we talk about, we study about our economy. So what is economy? We can able to say the various money related activities which is occurring in our country, which is occurring in our surrounding, is represented by the economy. So today we are going to understand about the production activities with the help of story of village Palampur. So now what is Palampur? Definitely we are aware about this. The Palampur is a village. Palampur is an hypothetical. What is hypothetical? Hypothetical represents to an imaginary place that is created by the writer just to explain the concept in a better way. Or we can able to say that Palampur is an imaginary place created by the writer to explain the concept in a better way. So now with the help of Palampur, we are going to understand the economic activities which is going on in our society. So village people who are living in the Palampur, their main activity is just farming. Most of the population that are living in Palampur, most of the people living in this village are engaged in the activities of farming. But somehow they are practice the different kind of activities as well, like manufacturing, dairy, transport, and many more. But all such kind of activities are going on very small scale. They are going on at a very small extent, but the maximum people engaged in the farming activities. So what are the types of resources they required for that? Definitely they need natural resources, because farming is based on the natural resources. Man-made items, definitely they need a man-made item, the item which is being created by the man, and human efforts must be there. And after that, definitely the economics word we have already discussed is related with the money, so they need the money as well. So but before starting this, we need to understand, or we need to overdraft about the village Palampur. So here we are going to discuss about the Palampur village. So introduction about Palampur village is like, the Palampur is a place which is well connected with the neighboring village and town. Raijang, a big village which is quite near to the Palampur and just at the 3-kilometer distance from there as well. The people living there are using different transportation facilities. We are able to see the bull carts there, tangas, and motorcycle, jeeps, tractors, everything is available in that village. And if we talk about the Palampur village, near about 450 families are living there, and out of 450 families, 80 upper caste families were there, and rest of the families are mainly belong to the Dalit or the SC caste. So moving further, now we are going to discuss about the different activities being carried out in the Palampur. Palampur is a well settled village. They have each and everything. Their electricity connection is very good. They have the tube well, they have a small business, they have a primary school, primary health center, government facilities, all as such type of transportation, road, electricity, irrigation, school, health center, each and every facility is available in the Palampur. So we are aware that Palampur is a well developed village. So what the people of Palampur is doing, their main occupation we have already discussed is farming. So now we are going to discuss about the organization of production, how they organize the production activities which is being used for the farming. While production, the three things which came in our mind is land. Definitely to grow crop we need a land. If we don't have a land, we are unable to do any activity regarding the farming. The second one is labor. We have a land, I have a land, but I don't have a person to work on that land. Does my land mean anything? Definitely no. So that the second requirement for me is labor. And the third one is capital. Now what is capital? The capital are mainly divided into the two parts. The first one is, definitely I have a land. and I have a labor as well to work on that land, but I am unable to arrange the tractors, I am unable to arrange the tube wells, I am unable to arrange the machines. So all such type of things like tools, machines, buildings, all such type of things are included in the fixed capital. And if we talk about the working capital, what is working capital? Like raw material. I want to produce, if we talk about the example of industry, I want to produce sugar. For that, I need a sugar cane. That is raw material for me to produce a sugar. I need sugar cane to convert it further to the sugar. That is working capital. So raw material is also essential for that. Like if we talk about the farming activities, what are raw material? Some seeds, some pesticides are considered as a raw material. So all such types of things are included as an organization of production. The first, we need land, the second, we need labor, and the third we required is physical capital. In this chapter, we are going to study all such three factors in a detail, and these factors are also known as factor of productions. So firstly, moving further, which we are going to discuss is land. So land is fixed. Can land be changeable? Most of the time the land be fixed. Palampur is a small village, and people living in the Palampur has already distributed their land. They have already distributed the land in a proper way. Like 75% of people who are working are dependent on the farming for their livelihood. They have their land, and for the sake they have to work on the part of their own land. It is not possible. If I don't have I have only 3 to 4 patches of land, I am unable to cultivate my crop in each and every sphere of the area. So somehow the land is fixed and divided to each and every people. Is there way one can grow more from the same land? Definitely one can grow more from the same land, but it differs from region to region or season to season. Like if we talk about during the raining season, farmer mainly grow the kharif crops, that is jowar and bajra. And if we talk about October to December, and in the winter season, that is of October to December. And if we talk about the winter season, the farmer grows rabi crop on their field. So it varies from seasons to season. They can able to grow one crop on the same field as well, and somehow with the multi-cropping they can grow the same crop at one field in a same time as well. So moving further, now we are going to discuss about the factor that is required for the farming, or we can say that the modern farming method. So here is the data given. Read the data carefully, check out it by yourself. And moving further, now we are going to discuss about the modern farming method. What are the modern farming method? Just look at this picture. What is included in this? Farm machinery, definitely tractors are available there. HYV seeds, high yielding variety seeds. So we already know that these are the chemical fertilizer seeds which help us to increase our production. Some of fertilizer, pesticide, dams, irrigation facilities. In irrigation facility, what is included? Canals, pump set, electricity, dams, all such type of things are included in the modern farming methods. Most of the people after 1960, and when we observe that the farming has degraded day by day, we introduce a green revolution, and that occurs in 1960. In that time we introduce a high yielding variety seeds, HYV seeds, and people are start using this modern technology in their lands. So moving further, Punjab and Haryana or West farmers of Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh were the first to try out the modern farming methods. And how the modern farming methods helped the village of Palampur. Like if we talk about Palampur, the traditional variety, when they are using the traditional inputs, it just give the 1300 kg of wheat from per hectare land. And when they start shifting to the HYV seed, they yield up to 3200 kg per hectare. So this is the biggest change which is occurred in the Palampur village with the new technology, or we can say the word new method. So moving further, will the land sustain? What does sustain? So we have discussed about the sustainable development. So what is sustainable development? Development in such a way so that it does not harm our future generation. So if we use such type of chemical fertilizer, does our land develop in such a way that we are able to use it in a future as well properly? Definitely no. Somehow the chemical fertilizers and pesticides adversely affect our land, and we leave our sustainability, we leave our sustain or fertility of the land. This land or the soil loses their fertility just because of such types of chemical fertilizers or the modern technology. Let's see how the chemical fertilizer harm the soil. Like chemical fertilizer provide mineral which dissolve in the water and immediately available to the plants, but these may not retain in soil for long. They may escape from the soil and pollute the underground water, rivers and lakes. Chemical fertilizer can also kill bacteria and other microorganisms in the soil. This means that sometimes after they are used, the soil will lose their fertility than ever before. This is how the chemical fertilizer affect the soil so badly. So if we are using such types of technique, we will suffer it in the future. So then moving further, how is land be distributed to the farmers of the Palampur? So we are understanding the concept of production with the help of the village, help of the example of village Palampur. How the land is being distributed there. Like if we talk about Palampur, we have already discussed that 450 families are there, and some of the landless laborers are there, 150 families. Most of them details have no land for the cultivation. Some are doesn't have a land, some have small patches of land. 150 people living in the Palampur doesn't have their land, and around 240 people have just small plot of land that is less than 2 hectares in size. So what they do, they are dependent on the farmers, they are dependent on the people who have the large extent or the large number of farming facilities, or we can able to say that large number of land, and they are completely dependent on them. And whenever they want to work, they just have to go to those big farmers. So this is the map which is given there, distribution of cultivated areas and farmers. So we are here saying that cultivated area is just 44.6% and number of farmers is 85%. The farmer actually is 85% and they have only 44.6% area to cultivate. So hope you got this. In this session, we have discussed about the story of village Palampur. While reading the story, we came to understood that most of the people engaged in the activity of farming, and farming needs the 3 types of thing. The first one is land, the second one is labor, and third one is physical capital. And physical capital is further divided into fixed capital and working capital, and it is also known as factor of production. After that, we have started studying about the first factor, that is land. We have discussed about the land, the use of land by the different farmers, how much is divided. We have discussed the division of land towards the different farmers. After that, we have discussed about the HYV seeds or the modern technology or the modern farming methods. And we have discussed the concept of green revolution as well. So after that, we have discussed about the sustainability or sustenance of the land and the distribution of land to the different peoples living in the Palampur. Hope you have got the chapter till here. In the next video, we will discuss it further.